Welcome again to the Strategy of Things. My name is Simon Bere, and in this segment, I just wanted to share with you a bit of aspects to do with the solutions, because most of the time when we are talking about the economy, when we are talking about business, we are talking about organizations, we are talking about the environment, we are talking about a lot of other things in life. The word solution always comes out, but in most cases, when we say solution, sometimes we take it for granted that we all know what we mean when we say a solution. And a few days ago, just to highlight this, a colleague of mine, Chris Mgaga, who is the CEO of ZNCC, he made a presentation on the state of the economy at some function. And when he gave out his ideas and what he thinks the situation in the economy, the next thing that most people asked was that while he had already said a lot of things about what he thinks the economy is like, just providing an analysis of the economy, the one thing that he did not proffer in his presentation was a way forward. So most people, after the presentation, they started asking him to say, okay, we know what you have said. These are the things that are happening in our economy, but what is the solution? So everyone talks about a solution, but we need to be clearer to say what do we mean by a solution, because if our definition of what is a solution is not clear, or if it does not help us to come up with a solution, then that becomes a problem when we try to come up with a solution, especially in problem solving. So as part of strategy, this is some of the work that we do. We look at problems, and then we also look at the solutions. So here I've got 26 different things that fit the definition of a solution. So the first one is a model. So if you have a problem, a model can actually be a solution. A model is an abstraction of reality. So it's like you want to make sure that a reality is very complex, but you want to extract from that reality the key elements that are responsible for producing the results or for creating that particular situation within that particular state. That becomes a model. So if you want to solve a problem, you can solve the problem using a model. So a model is a solution. If you want more details about modeling and what is a model is, we can always discuss. The second one, which also fits into the definition of a solution, is a formula. So most of you, you went to school, I think you have done a bit of maths even at L level. We have always been talking about formulas. So what is the formula? For example, I can ask you, what is your formula for turning around this economy? So when I ask you about the formula now, it becomes clearer, because the formula is x is equal to y, or x times y is equal to z, or x plus b plus c over d is equal to this. So when we now talk about a formula, we are now talking about something more specific that can actually help us. And we can investigate or interrogate a formula and determine whether that formula is going to produce a result or not. So a formula is a solution. The next one is what we call an algorithm. An algorithm is a step-by-step sequence of things which have got a specific beginning and a specific end. So it's a step-by-step. So for some problems, we can solve them using an algorithm. Algorithm is a term that is used mostly in mathematics, especially in computers, in computer science. But you can generate an algorithm. I would say, for example, we need an algorithm for turning our economy or moving our economy from where it is to where we want it to be. I don't know if someone can actually generate that algorithm. But once we start talking about an algorithm, we are now talking about a specific type of solution, and it will help us so that we'll be able to be very specific to come up with that specific solution. The next one is an equation. An equation is also a solution. So what is the equation? X plus y is equal to z is an equation. For example, I'll give you a very good equation that is familiar with people. That was generated by one of our greatest scientists and problem solvers, Albert Einstein. I love that guy. And he said y is equal to mc squared. It's a simple equation to define the relativity between energy and light, so and speed, the speed of light. So y is equal to mc squared is an energy equation that was generated by Einstein. So an equation. So we can say we need an equation in order for us to solve this problem. So once you come up with the equation and use that equation, you'll be able to arrive at the answer. The next one is a program. It's also a solution. So we can say an economic recovery program. Once we talk about a program now, we are talking about a very specific solution. So if we can say, let's generate an economic recovery program, everyone will know exactly that if it's a program, you develop the program, it has got specific elements which are organized in a specific way, in a specific sequence, and we can now implement that program step by step until we produce our result. So probably what we need in this economy is an economic recovery program. So once we say a program, we know it's more detailed, it's more specific, more comprehensive. The next one is a protocol. A protocol is similar to an algorithm, but the difference is that a protocol may not be mathematical. It can be just a step-by-step, it can be used in terms of weight. So a protocol is actually a step-by-step way of doing things. For example, I can say in terms of the cyclone Idai, if I wanted to say we want a solution, we could say let's generate a protocol that we can activate as soon as there is a warning that there is a disaster. So once we have a protocol, we know we have activated the protocol. So we know the step-by-step sequence of things that we must do in response to something. That is what we call a protocol. So a protocol is a specific type of solution. Then the next one is a process. Process is very similar to a protocol. So most of the things, the reason why we fail to produce our results or to solve a problem is because we don't use processes. So if we have got a process, it's something that can guide us to follow through from one step to another until we complete something. So what we need maybe what is the process? We can say what is the economic recovery process? What process do we need to follow for us to produce the result that we want or to solve our problem? So a process is also a solution. So because I don't have enough time to describe all this in detail, let me just highlight more of the solutions, specific solutions that we can also use. If you want to get then detailed explanations on each of them, you can always call me and we can discuss. So we talked about the process. The next one is, the eighth one is a procedure. So those who are in a hospital, we know that the doctors, they say they're undertaking a procedure, which is also a way of doing certain things. So doctors use procedures. In treating you, they use a procedure. So a procedure is also one type of solution that is required. The next one is a method. It's also a specific solution. So what method do we need, or what method are we going to use so that we return our economy to growth and prosperity? The next one is a system. A system is also a solution. But the beauty of a system is that a system will always produce the consistent results as long as that system is operating according to how it must operate and in a specific environment. So if you don't have systems in your business, and if we don't have systems in our economy, then we will have problems. Because once we have systems, it becomes easy to produce the same results over and over again. So what systems can we use, or can we produce, and can we develop that we can use to successfully turn around our economy? The next one is strategy. I'm not going to spend too much time. I've always been talking about strategy. Strategy is a beautiful thing for me. So strategy is also a solution. The next one is a theory. I know that most people think theory is the opposite of practice, but you cannot produce a good result if you don't know the theory that is required to produce that result. So most of the solutions that we want or that we use are theoretical solutions. We use theoretical solutions to produce practical solutions. So theory is very, very important. If we have the correct theory, we'll be able to produce the correct result or to solve a problem. So a theory is a solution. The next one is a concept. A solution can actually be a concept. So I produce so many concepts that I use to solve problems in different areas of life. So I can give you a concept, and if you use that concept can solve your problem. It's a solution. The next one is an insight. Insights are also very important. Sometimes the reason why we fail to produce a solution is we don't have the right insights. So once you have an insight into something, that insight can actually be a solution, because it will help you to understand something better and better, and it will help you to produce a certain result. Then the next one is a concept. The concept is very similar to an insight. So we have talked about concept before. The next one is a mindset. So every result requires a certain mindset, and every mindset will lead to a certain consistent result. So one of the solutions that we need, especially in this economy, is actually a change in mindsets. There are certain mindsets that we have in our economy that are undermining our capacity to turn around, or our potential to turn around this economy. So if we don't identify those mindsets and change those mindsets, we will not be able to solve our problem. So a mindset shift is actually a solution. Or having a certain mindset that we didn't have, it's actually a solution. So a mindset is a solution. The next one is a philosophy. So a philosophy is a way of thinking that is at the core of what you do or how you do things. So if we change philosophy, we can actually change a situation just by changing the philosophy that we have about that particular situation. The next one is a step. A step is also a solution. Sometimes we can have an incomplete solution because there's a missing step in that particular solution. So once we find that missing step and we put it into the solution, we'll be able to solve a problem. So what steps do we need to take so that we can actually move from where we are in our economy to where we want to be? So if you can identify those specific steps and take those steps consistently, we'll be able to move from where we are to where we want to go. The next one is an idea. It's also a solution. If we don't have ideas, we will not be able to solve our problems. Not all problems are solved by knowledge. Many of the problems that we face, especially in complex situations like economies, are solved not by knowledge, they are solved by ideas. So we need more ideas, we need better ideas so that we'll be able to solve our problems. The next one is a plan. They say failing to plan is planning for failure. Failing to plan is planning for failure. Are we planning, or are we failing to plan in our economy? So what are we planning for? Are we planning for success, or are we planning for failure? So plans are very, very important. The next one is a tactic. A tactic is a sequence of activities that have got a specific beginning and a specific end. But tactics must be within the framework of a strategy. Tactics that are not linked to strategy, normally they are very dangerous. So we have got people who respond tactically to situations that require a strategic response. And this becomes a very dangerous thing. But a tactic can actually be a solution, even though it's not a very good solution if it is operating on its own. A tactic must be part of strategy. The next one is a skill. A skill is a solution, because if we don't have a certain skill that is required for us to produce a certain result, then we will not be able to produce that result if we don't have that skill. So we need to build the skills that are required for us to be able to turn around this economy. The question is, do we have the right combination of skills at the right levels in the economy so that we'll be able to turn around our economy? Probably one of the biggest problems we may be facing is just that we don't have skills. We have got a lot of knowledge, but we may be lacking the right quality and combination of skills that are required for us to turn around our economy. We need to look at our skills. Do we have the right skills? The next one is technology can be a solution. To what extent are we using the technology that we have as an economy to turn around your economy? Our internet, our mobile technology. Our mobile phones, our WhatsApps, most of the time we're using them for socializing. To what extent are we using social media to share practical solutions that can turn around our economy? Or our social media conversations full of criticism and complaints and hopelessness, but nothing practical that can actually move us from where we are to where we want to be? So technology is actually a solution. The next one is key. What is a key? You know, when we talk about the key, this is the key to success. you know what I mean? It's used metaphorically, but a key is a solution. Sometimes people, the reason why you fail to turn around the economy is you don't have the keys to turn around the economy. So you need to look for the keys. This is why it's important to consult others and to look for solutions from others. So that if you don't have the key that you require for you to move forward or to unlock certain potential in your organization or to get a certain solution, then you need to look for those keys. Do we have the right keys to turn around our economy? The next one is a secret. A secret can be a solution. A secret is something that is hidden. So sometimes what you simply need is to have that secret exposed to you. So I've got a lot of secrets for you if you are facing some problems, especially at an economic or business or environmental levels. I can give you some secrets that you can use. You also have secrets that you can share with me that can also help me. So what is the secret to successful economic turnaround? Anyone with the secret, if you have it, please let us share. The next one is equality can be a solution. If someone has got poor qualities of a leader, in an organization, by improving those qualities, then that person becomes a better leader and it becomes a solution. So what qualities are required for us to become better at what we are doing? Then the last one I wanted to share with you is emotion. An emotion is a solution. There are certain things that are driven by our emotions, certain decisions that are driven by emotions, certain behaviors that are driven by emotions. So if we change our emotions, we change the quality of our decisions. If we change our emotions, we change the direction of our thinking. So we need, sometimes what is lacking in someone is the right emotion so that that person can be able to make better decisions or to improve performance. So these are some of the issues that I wanted to share with you from a strategic perspective on what we call solutions. Any one of these can actually be a solution that you may need at one time or the other to produce results. My name is Simon Bere. Thank you very much for listening. And if you want to continue this discussion and more definitions on some of these solutions, you can contact me on +263 77 444 7438, or you can email me at simonsbere@gmail.com. Thank you very much.